Hey, welcome to Sweeney May's Plant Rant, and today we're going to be talking about my Monstera Deliciosa, which is also known as the Swiss cheese plant because of the holes in its leaves. So we're going to repot this because it's starting to become root bound in its pot, and I do want to see the leaves grow bigger. So this is how you know that your plant is starting to become root bound. This is not too bad, but I'm going to show you at the bottom. Let's see if I can show you the bottom part without spilling anything. But you can tell, I don't know if you can see, but the roots are starting to come out like that one. The roots are starting to come out of the holes, and I can see some of the roots up here, and I can feel it at the top. So it's starting to become a little bit too small for its pot. Technically, I probably could have waited until springtime to repot it, but I want to repot it today. Why not? So, here we go. So this is probably an 8-inch pot, maybe, yeah, an 8-inch pot, and I'm going to repot it in a 10-inch pot right here. My goal is I want to see my Monstera become super huge, and for me to be able to see that, I definitely need to take it out of its smaller pot and move it into a bigger pot so that the roots have more room to grow, and that will help the leaves get bigger. You guys can see I kind of put a stake around it so that it's not like just growing out of, you know, like different directions. So I put this little stake that I got on Amazon just to control the direction of the leaves. These plants are actually, well, you can hear the plane coming, but these plants are actually crawlers. So if I put like a moss stake in the middle or something that they can climb onto, that would actually, they would actually climb up to, you know, the stake that I'll put on there. So hope the lighting is better. Monsteras have different species and kinds, and this one is the Monstera Deliciosa. I haven't looked it up to see how many different species there are, but there are definitely a lot of other Monsteras out there. See, without the stake, they kind of just fall everywhere. So it is said that they have holes in its leaves because their natural habitat is actually like in a rainforest somewhere underneath other trees, and so it likes indirect sunlight, first of all, and if it's in its natural habitat, then it has holes in it so that the sunlight or the rain or whatever it is can actually move through the plant easier. And the holes in its leaves help withstand like winds and strong rains and stuff like that. So that's what they say, the reason that this plant has holes in it. So we're going to repot it, and just like most plants, it will love soil that could breathe. So I've already mixed a just like a basic indoor plant soil, but with perlite. And if you guys saw my videos in the last few weeks, or the first video that I put out, actually, perlite is basically just these white little styrofoam looking things that you mix with the soil so that when you water the plant, the water could drain into the soil through and work through the soil instead of being stagnant and causing root rot. So anyway, that's really it. So we're gonna put this thing in a bigger pot, and I have all these little boxes that, you know, I reuse these boxes that I get from Amazon so that it'll help me not make so much of a mess when I'm using my dining table to do this, because this is probably the only best place I can do these videos. So just like most plants, what you want to do is kind of wiggle your plant out of its pot, because this is root bound. It might be a little difficult. So I'm pulling it I'm trying to pull it out. Let's see. I'm trying to pull it out of its pot without trying not to damage it as well. So one thing that you could do too is just start squeezing the plastic nursery pot so that it will loosen up around its soil. See if that helped. So let me pull it out. I'm trying here. You're seeing this live. I might cut it shorter so you can see me pull it out already. Oh, it's in there. Okay, it's coming out. It's loosening up, you guys. There it is. I feel like I need a fourth hand, but there we are. There is our Monstera. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is kind of not make a mess. Okay, here. I'm going to kind of break the soil that's around its roots a little, just by squeezing it like so. I'm glad for these boxes because it will help. So I hope you guys can see that. Oh, the roots are so healthy and so strong. And I actually just cut like a piece of it to start propagating it. So I'm gonna get it in a little bit to show you guys how you can cut and propagate your Monstera. Oh my gosh, look at that root. It's so big. It's definitely crying to come out of that little pot. At least I feel like my plants are talking to me. You know, plant mom issues. I don't want to touch it so much, but I do want to remove as much of the original soil so that I can repot it on its new soil that I just put together right here. So I don't want to disrupt the roots too much. So when you repot your plants, there is like a time, it might be a week or two, that your plant might be stagnant and not show growth. Like if there's a sprout coming out, it might not really unfurl for a week or two, because when you repot your plant, you're disrupting its roots. So it's going to take a while to acclimate back to the new pot that you put it in. So when I actually bought this, I bought this at Trader Joe's, if you can believe it. And the tallest leaf was about this tall. But look, like I bought it back in August, and as we're filming this today, it's now December. So it does grow fast, and I feel like every week there is a new leaf that's trying to unfurl. I do put it next to a window, but without direct sunlight. It just gets that bright light from a window. And then, as you guys know, I have a moisture meter, so that helps me determine when it's time to water my plant. It removes the guessing game of trying to see, you know, if my plant needs watering or not, or, you know, I got tired of sticking my fingers 2 inches down my pot to see if it needs watering. So I bought a moisture meter, and that has really helped me make sure that I'm not over watering my plants, because that will cause root rot. Look at this. I'm gonna show this to you a little closer so you can see what healthy roots look like. I'm gonna try to come there. Let's see. Try not to make a mess. So look at that. Very healthy roots of my Monstera, you guys. I think it's definitely ready to be repotted. I've been reading some articles, and it says that you want to repot your Monstera only like every 2 years. So, but honestly, it's ready to be repotted. So I'm going to take that chance and repot it now, so that come springtime, hopefully these leaves are like super huge. So I don't really want to disrupt any more of it. I think I've taken enough of the soil out. I could shake off some more soil, but honestly, I think it's all right. I kind of want to just plant it as it is. So the first thing I have to do is layer some soil already on this bigger pot. Okay, lay down for a minute for me. Lay down gently. Okay, so I have my mix already here. So I'm gonna put a nice little layer, enough, like about 2/3 of the pot, because you want your plant to have enough room to still keep growing downwards, because that's how the roots grow, right? Downwards and around it. So you don't want to place the plant like way too close to the bottom, because then it doesn't have room to grow. So you want to have enough soil. So this is my entire pot right here. I filled up about this much of soil, and I might even put a little more, and I might have to mix more soil. Ta-da! There you go. Okay, now we're gonna take this entire baby, and I'm trying to decide if I want to shake off any more of its soil, but I think it's pretty good. And that root system is amazing. Okay, so we're gonna place it right in the middle of this pot, nice and firm. And I do have to make some more soil mixture. Just mixing whatever I have in here, because it's not, you know, they're not very picky with what kind of soil you use, but as long as it is going to have perlite in it, and so it's well draining soil. Okay. Just mix that. I love these plants because I feel like they're so like trendy right now, because they're beautiful. These leaves, they grow. I've seen some leaves that grow big, like bigger than, well, this is bigger than my face now, I think, but bigger than my head. And that's where I want to see it. I mean, be careful what you wish for, because I don't really have a lot of room, right? But I want to see it grow. And if it gets too big, I'm just going to prune them. And speaking of pruning, it's actually really important for you to know that pruning is a very important part of plant parenthood. Because you think that you're hurting the growth of your plant by cutting them or pruning them, but you're actually encouraging more growth by doing so. So don't be afraid to prune, you guys. Just putting the soil on the sides, and then when we're done putting the soil in this pot, then we have to water it through and through, because what you want to do is allow the soil to set in with its roots. So the only way to do that is to water it. Also, these plants, they love to be fertilized too, but not so often. Like, the best time to fertilize them is in the spring and summertime, because that's when they're really promoting a lot of growth. I love the roots are so strong. I'm just proud of it, because I have caused some root rot on my other plants, and for this one, I've been very careful not to overwater it. Some plant moms actually wait until their plants droop a little, and that's how they can tell it needs watering. So if you're a heavy waterer out there, be careful. It's not about watering on a schedule. It's more about listening and paying attention to your plants to water them when they are thirsty. So some of you may think, oh, I have to schedule, you know, to water my plants every 7 days. No, that's not how it works. You just have to pay attention. If they are dry, then they need watering. And sometimes in the winter time, I did this video, if you guys want to check it out, of how to take care of your plants during the winter time. In the winter time, they're not as thirsty as they are in the summertime. So they actually don't need to be watered as much during the winter time. I have plants that I don't have to water them for 2 weeks, because they're still very wet and moist, especially during the winter time. But in the summertime, man, like, I have to water them every week. So just pay attention. And I really, really recommend getting that you get a moisture meter. That will really help you. More soil. And then we're almost done here. Oops. And I'm going to show you my propagated Monstera. In just a second. So once this grows a little bit more, I'm gonna buy like it's like a big stick with moss around it, because the plant will just naturally get attracted to crawl on that moss. If you live in places where there is not a lot of sun in the winter, you can also buy a grow light, and it's basically just like a lamp that's made for plants, and it will mimic like sunlight, right? Because your plants are going to need some kind of light to grow in order for them to go through photosynthesis. So I think we're done. I'm gonna add the soil that I took out of the old plant on the top of this, because I find that I don't put enough soil. After I water it, it kind of sinks in, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to add more soil. So I've learned to really fill it up to the top of the rim of the pot. So I'm excited to show you guys what this Monstera would look like in the springtime, which is just a few months away. And they grow so fast. Like I said, every week it's unfurling a new leaf. And let me go get my Monstera that I am propagating. This cute little thing right here was actually, and it's growing a new leaf. I told you it's like unfurling a new leaf every time. Ooh, is that a damaged leaf? So it was actually, where did I cut it from? I'm looking for my cutting. I cut it like it was growing right here. So how you know where to cut is that this thick part, let's see if I can point to it. This thick part of the plant is a node. It's just where it kind of fattens up at the bottom of the stem. And so you can cut it right below that. And I saw a root, this is an air root. I saw a root starting to come out already, so I kind of cut it slanted so I could get that root. And then you can just stick it in water. And this is the first time I'm propagating a Monstera, so I'm not really sure how long it'll take, but the other plants I've been propagating has been taking maybe 2 to 4 weeks to grow roots, and as soon as the roots start to grow and they're about 2 inches long, you can plant it in a pot. And I'm probably going to cut another one maybe in a week or so. And these make great gifts, you guys. I mean, you can give it just like that, or actually you can pot it in like a you can pot it in something like this, put some soil in there, stick one little cute Monstera, and it will start to grow. So, well, once it has roots too. So that's it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed that. If you are looking to get a Monstera, it's actually a great starter plant, meaning that it's not too difficult to take care of. It doesn't have like it's not a finicky plant. So I recommend it, and they're very beautiful, and they don't need so much attention. So that's it for today's Sweeney Main's Plant Rant, and I'll see you guys next week. And I'm recording this today is actually Christmas, so if you're watching this around the holiday season, Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.